10. Battle of Ludford Bridge 1459. In the initial stages of the Wars of the Roses, the Yorkists were set to clash with the Lancastrians near Ludford Bridge. Richard of York, leading the Yorkists, had a decent following but faced a significant obstacle. On the eve of the battle, he discovered that some of his troops were defecting. This event created an atmosphere of distrust and chaos within the Yorkist camp. The Lancastrians, realizing the instability within the Yorkist ranks, saw an opportunity. However, recognizing the potential for a disastrous defeat due to the internal betrayal, Richard of York decided to withdraw, avoiding an actual battle. Ludford would be remembered not for the clash of arms but for the political implications and defections that would shape future conflicts in the Wars of the Roses. 9. Battle of Stirling Bridge 1297. Stirling Bridge was a pivotal location in 13th century Scotland, and the confrontation here was a key moment in the Wars of Scottish independence. The Scots under William Wallace and Andrew Murray had a distinct tactical advantage. They used the narrowness of the bridge to create a choke point, forcing the English to send troops across in smaller groups, making them easier targets. The English commander, John de Warenne, misjudged the situation. His decision to attack prematurely, before the majority of his troops had crossed the bridge, was a grave mistake. The Scots descended upon the divided English force, resulting in a massive loss for England. Wallace's victory at Stirling Bridge boosted Scottish morale and marked him as a key leader in the fight for Scottish independence. 8. Battle of Pontvalon 1370. Amid the backdrop of the 100 Years' War, the French sought opportunities to reclaim territories and regain their pride after successive defeats. The Battle of Pontvalon provided such an opportunity. The English under Sir John Chandos were caught off guard by the swiftness of the French attack, and their decision to split their forces made them even more vulnerable. The battle turned grim for the English when their influential leader, Chandos, was mortally wounded. His loss deeply demoralized the English troops. The French capitalized on this momentum, swiftly defeating the English. Pontvalon was a bright spot for the French in a war often dominated by English victories. 7. Battle of Spurs 1513. The Battle of Spurs is somewhat misnamed, as it was more a chase than a conventional battle. King Henry VIII of England had ambitions in France, and in pursuit of those, he led a massive force into French territory. When the French saw the size and might of the advancing English army, they opted for a strategic withdrawal. The French cavalry, rather than facing off against the English, spurred their horses into a rapid retreat. The English gave chase, and due to the rapid pace of the retreat, the confrontation was named the Battle of Spurs. It was a bloodless victory for the English and showcased the intimidating might of Henry's forces. 6. Battle of Jargeau 1429. Joan of Arc's rise to prominence in the 100 Years' War was marked by a series of stunning victories, and Jargeau was one of them. The town, under English control, was besieged by French forces led by Joan and Duke John II of Alençon. Their combined leadership pushed the English defenders to their limits. During the battle, Joan was injured, taking an arrow to the shoulder. However, displaying resilience and bravery, she returned to the front lines after treatment to rally her troops. Her presence boosted the French soldiers' morale, leading them to a decisive victory, and further solidifying Joan's reputation as a divine warrior and leader. 5. Battle of Maclodio 1427. The Venetian Republic, under Francesco Busoni, known as Carmagnola, was in a conflict against the Duchy of Milan. The battleground of Maclodio saw Carmagnola's strategic brilliance come to the forefront. He devised a plan involving ditches and palisades, effectively neutralizing the Milanese heavy cavalry. Despite initial skirmishes and back-and-forth combat, the Venetians managed to maintain their defensive line. The Milanese, frustrated and unable to break through, suffered significant casualties. By the battle's end, the Venetians had captured many prominent Milanese leaders and soldiers, marking a significant victory for Venice in the broader conflicts of northern Italy. 4. Battle of Pavia 1525. Pavia is often regarded as one of the most decisive battles in the Italian wars. Francis I of France sought to challenge the dominance of Charles V's Holy Roman Empire in the region. The French forces initiated a night assault against the imperial army, which failed and set the stage for the battle's events. Charles V's troops, taking advantage of the natural barriers within a park, fortified their positions. When the main battle ensued, the French were unable to breach these defenses. The imperial arquebusiers and Spanish pikemen wreaked havoc on the French ranks. By the battle's end, the French were decisively defeated, and their king, Francis I, was captured, dramatically altering the course of the Italian wars. 3. Battle of Arsuf 1191. During the Third Crusade, the Crusader forces, under the leadership of Richard the Lionheart, were marching to Jaffa when they were ambushed by Saladin's troops. The Crusaders were initially on the defensive, repelling waves of attacks from Saladin's forces, which sought to break their lines and morale. However, Richard, known for his military acumen, recognized an opportunity. He ordered a massive cavalry charge, catching Saladin's forces off guard. This maneuver broke the Muslim lines, turning the ambush into a significant Crusader victory. Arsuf was a testament to Richard's ability to turn a potential defeat into a stunning victory. 2. Battle of Crécy 1346. The 100 Years' War saw many innovations in military tactics, and the Battle of Crécy was a prime example. The English under King Edward III were heavily outnumbered by the French forces. However, they had a secret weapon, the longbow. English archers occupied a fortified position on a hill, giving them a tactical advantage. As the battle commenced, the French crossbowmen, whose weapons were slower to reload and had been dampened by rain, were outmatched by the rapid-fire capability of the English longbows. The resulting volleys decimated the French ranks. Additionally, the English men-at-arms successfully repelled multiple French cavalry charges. By the end of the day, the English had achieved a stunning victory, showcasing the power of the longbow and setting the stage for future English successes in the war. 1. Battle of Hastings 1066. The Battle of Hastings is one of the most iconic confrontations in medieval history.
Following the death of England's King Edward the Confessor, Harold Godwinson was crowned king. However, William, the Duke of Normandy, claimed that he was the rightful heir. The two forces met near Hastings, with Harold's army taking a defensive position on Senelac Hill. William's Normans employed a tactic of feigned retreats to draw the English out of their formation, which was working surprisingly well. By the day's end, Harold was struck down, famously believed to have been hit in the eye, with an arrow, marking the end of Anglo-Saxon rule in England. Fun fact: the events of the battle and its participants are meticulously depicted in the Bayeux Tapestry, which is over 230 feet long, but technically isn't a tapestry. It's an embroidery. In the annals of history, medieval battles have etched their tales of valor, strategy, and sometimes pure chance. From the tactical masterstroke by the Scots at the Battle of Stirling Bridge to the pivotal moment in England's history at the Battle of Hastings, these confrontations showcase the unpredictability and grandeur of medieval warfare. While many battles raged on for days, some were remarkably swift due to strategic genius or, occasionally, blunders. Honorable mentions: Battle of Neville's Cross 1346, where the English captured David II of Scotland, changing the dynamics of the English-Scottish Wars. Battle of Agincourt 1415, famously remembered for the English longbowmen and Henry V's outnumbered troops securing a major victory against the French. Battle of Towton 1461, as one of the bloodiest battles on English soil, it played a pivotal role in the Wars of the Roses. Join us as we delve deep into the stories, strategies, and surprising facts behind the quickest medieval battles. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into history,